Welcome to Peer's Sequel Now, and today I'm really excited because I think I found my perfect camera app. This is RAW Plus, a completely stripped back, fully manual camera app with RAW support, obviously. And when I say stripped back, this is literally all you get. It even makes Halide look stuffed. As someone who shoots exclusively in RAW and manual mode and likes to do it as efficiently as possible, I'm not interested in a lot of the settings and the functionality and the modes that comes with and quite frankly bogs down a lot of other camera apps. But what makes this the near perfect app for me isn't necessarily what it does and doesn't do, it's the user interface and the user experience, but particularly so on a smaller phone. With most camera apps, a larger screen typically offers a better experience, but with RAW Plus, the opposite is true. In portrait mode on my iPhone XR, for example, the control sliders are permanently displayed down here with a brilliantly responsive RGB histogram, which is always a massive win, by the way. But to activate manual white balance, you have to tap this K up here and then come back down here to change it, which means if you're a weirdo like me who likes to change the white balance when shooting in RAW, you can't shoot entirely one-handed if you need to. Enter the little iPhone SE. Now here is where things level up because the entire UI is literally right there under your thumb, settings and all, for a much more fluid experience. You can even keep shooting while you're in the settings. What's puzzling is how this same interface could easily fit on larger devices like the iPhone XR for a much better portrait experience. But to be honest, I don't really care about portrait mode because I shoot 99% of my photos in landscape, and this is where RAW Plus really shines because it splits the controls across either side of the screen for an insanely efficient and fun two-handed operation. I said this about Darkroom, it feels more like I'm playing a game rather than making photos, and I love it. And in landscape, the smaller screen is a winner here as well because you don't get these horribly distracting white balance presets spewed across the screen. Instead, they're hidden away at the top, and I don't think I've ever used a white balance preset. It's either auto or Kelvin, so I really don't want to see them. And if you absolutely need to shoot one-handed in landscape, then I've actually found a little hack for it. If you turn your phone into portrait, lock the orientation and then turn it back into landscape, look at that, complete one-handed operation apart from white balance. So to wrap up this short review of RAW Plus, when it comes to small devices like the iPhone SE, I don't think I've seen a camera app more optimized for a screen. I mean, Halide is optimized and it's slick too, but Halide does this awfully fun thing where it resets your settings every time you focus, which whereas RAW Plus, it actually keeps your settings exactly as they were even when you close and reopen the app again. The whole thing just feels like it was made by photographers for photographers who love manual shooting. It's a shame though that the experience on larger devices like my iPhone XR isn't as good as the iPhone SE because obviously with its larger sensor and better lens and better image processing, I would much rather use the iPhone XR. But for an app to be so good, so focused and so optimized that it actually makes me want to use the inferior SE over the superior XR, then I'm seriously impressed. But don't get me wrong, seriously, all of these downsides that I've been talking about with the larger screen size, they're not deal breakers by any stretch of the imagination. When everything I've mentioned here is the worst things about your app, then you're seriously doing something right. And it's just when you're so close to perfection and all you need to do is make little tweaks, it's like, ah. So if you're watching this dynamic app design, just do it for me, please. Just tweak the design on large screen phones. So here comes the rain. Quite heavy rain, so that is my cue to wrap up this review of RAW Plus. So tell me, honestly, what do you think? Do you like this completely stripped back, 100% like focused type of app, or do you prefer the more all-in-one feature-packed approach, or maybe something in the middle? Maybe the best of both worlds. Either way, the fact that you're actually going out and taking photos, that's the main thing. That's what matters. So whatever app you're using, enjoy, happy shooting, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Back at the end.